What up, people? How you doing? There we go. There we go. Okay. What's up, people? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. What's going on? What's up? Where my people at? We got anybody in the house tonight on a Wednesday? I know we got some people out there. Let me give it up for you. Let me give it up for my moderator, Buck Bewley, in the house. Let me give it up for my moderator, Buck Bewley, in the house. I saw him out there. We in the house tonight. We doing it live here on the Tim Black Show, where we tackle news, politics, culture. Man, we got it for you. We got it for you right here. If you're new to the show, check us out. If you like what we do, if you find value on our work, subscribe. It's a free subscription. If you've been here before, become a member. That's right. If you're not a member, become a member. That's how we keep the show going. To my party people in the house, let me look and see who's in the house tonight. Do we have my party people in the house tonight? What's up, people? What's up? Nigel's in the house. What's up, Nigel? Yeah. Nigel's in the house. Africa is King is in the house. Nigel, can we get 32 likes and some shares? Go ahead, Nigel. Tell him, Nigel. Share the show. Like the show. Share the show. Like the show. Let people know we're in the house. Buck is doing his thing. Okay, I don't know if we want to put that up there, Buck. I didn't read it. Hey, what's up? What's up? The longest countdown in human history. Nah, it's kind of standard. Well, you know. What is up? What is up? Dimitri, what's happening, Dimitri? Think a small-minded I bought acres and have landmines. Booyah. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Where you live at? Bumfuck, Arkansas? Where's this? You can't violate because I'm a city boy, sir. I'm a city boy. What's up with this guy? Dimitri, I bought a lot of land. And he has landmines. Okay, sure, man. A bucket with some broken bottles in it ain't a landmine, sir. It's not a landmine. No. I don't know what that is. But it damn sure ain't a landmine. Give it up for my people, my people, my people, my people. But Dimitri's an OG, so we let him get away with that tonight. Give it up for my man, TG. The Grove is in the house. That's right. And Rude Boy is in the house. Rude Boy said they just steal them guns. The sheriffs will just steal your guns. I heard that, man. Now, I had to come up with something kind of catchy for tonight. It's like, what do I want to say tonight? Katrina Watts is in the house. My sister, give it up for Katrina Watts. Yeah. What's up, man? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yo, people. Emmett Bean in the house. Gaithersburg, Maryland in the house. What? They in the building? Drums. Yeah, we got to get drums for that one. And, you know, I got some stuff playing tonight. G says, you need to come out here, man. Come out here with the OG. You can buy some acres with me, fam. Hey, man, it may come to that. Hey, D, it may come to that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't getting nobody no invite. So, man, check it out, y'all. Check it out. We got, you know, if you're new to the show, well, first of all, we got to share it out. Share this out. Did I share it on Twitter? We're on Twitter tonight. We're on Facebook. This goes live. You guys get the live taping. Then we make it private. Then we put it back out. My members get the clip. Go to Patreon. Go to jointimblack.com. Become a member of the show. Join on YouTube. Same deal. I got a couple of things I want to get to you tonight. A couple of stories that I did, you know, cross my desk, hit me in my timeline, punched me in the face. I said, okay, they want me to cover this. Kind of punched me in the face. It's like, oh, I got to cover this. I got to get on top of it because, you know, it's important that people stay engaged and informed. I keep seeing something. Is something eyebrow? Something is on my eyebrow. But yeah, fam. We got to stay informed. We got to keep people informed. I don't know. It's okay. I don't know. I had something on my lip. I was talking. That's the worst thing. You do a video, right? It's the worst thing. First of all, being on camera is never fun, right? I mean, it's fun, but it's not fun to watch back. Because you notice something like, oh man, you had something right here on your lip, bro. You can't do nothing about it. I can't take a video down because I got something on my lip. I just sit there hoping nobody noticed, like, hope nobody saw that. So I'm going to start checking. Because y'all wouldn't tell me. Let me do a whole show with something on my lip. What's Tim Black been doing? All right. Whew. Okay, that's a little bit better. You guys ready for some news? I'm ready for some news. First things first. First, you'll click in the okay, should I tell you what we're gonna cover tonight? Just in case you want to know. Biden gives Bibi in Israel an ultimatum. I know, right? It's kind of crazy. I didn't see that one coming. Oh, yeah, I did see it coming. We're going to talk about something that people have been saying about Donald Trump. I saw this on Twitter. People on Twitter were saying that Trump has been talking about qualified immunity. I want to address this. Trump's talking about giving cops total immunity. Not even qualified immunity, because they already got qualified immunity, but he's talking about giving them full reign, like making them untouchable. So we got to address that. We got a story of Marilyn Mosby, former lead prosecutor in the state of Maryland, my state. Actually, she's really Baltimore though. It seemed like her focus was Baltimore, but she's a Maryland state prosecutor. Was Maryland state prosecutor, and she's been convicted, and she may be going to jail for up to 40 years. She was on the Breakfast Club today, making it known what she's up against, and I want to address it. I want to talk about it. Actually, she's been on a couple of shows, so I did a little searching, a little digging of my own, and I want to discuss it a little bit, bring you up to speed on Marilyn Mosby and what's happening with her. But I want to start with, we also got Biden with black voters, Biden with the black vote, and it's also Biden with all voters, because it's all voters too. So I got a little clip I want to play you on that. So yeah, that's where we at. We're going to get things kicked off. We'll get things kicked off with DJ Vlad. So anybody who caught the last show will, in case you didn't catch it, last show I talked about DJ Vlad, a very popular DJ who's turned into a sort of a YouTube phenomenon with a very popular podcast show called DJ Vlad. A lot of great people have been on this show, a lot of famous people, a lot of celebrities, mostly from the hip-hop genre, but some others, comedians, actors of that nature have been on the show as well. He's even interviewed gangsters, legit gangsters from the mob. He's done a lot of stuff. He's who Patrick Bet David wants to be, or wanted to be before he became Pat Bet David. Like so Pat Bet David's really big now, if you know Pat Bet David, interviewing notable people and talking about different types of events. Sort of like Joe Rogan, but from a hip-hop standpoint. So that's all you need to know, basically, and that a lot of people don't like him. Because these people go on his show, particularly young people in the hip-hop genre, they go on his show, and he's like, so I heard you beefing with such and such. Yeah, so what happened? Tell us more about that. Then somehow they get to like where people had guns, and these young people start telling all their business, and next thing you know, somebody going to jail. It's just crazy. Like it's insane. So recently, DJ Vlad, he was commenting on the Kendrick Lamar verse Drake situation. He made a tweet about it, and all he said something like was, "Hey, this could have been a better battle," or Kendrick Lamar could have did a better job if he had a better mix on his track or something. He gave a critique, and somebody else who obviously doesn't like him was like, "What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, white boy? This is a black thing. Why you up in black people business all the time, telling black people what they need to do to be better?" Or something like that. So that's a back and forth. Now, that's debatable if that's even a thing to bring up because it's Twitter. People comment on everything on Twitter. There's no rules. It's segregated as America is. Anybody can go on Twitter and anybody can comment about anything. But it also means that anybody can comment about your comments. That's sort of how social media works. Here's the thing, guys. The woman that commented about DJ Vlad and telling him keep his nose out of black business and just reminding Vlad that he's a white guy, so kind of stay in your lane. She's a former professor at Princeton. And we've been through this. If you saw the show, I covered it. Vlad is like, oh, so you're from Princeton, huh? Talking to me real slick. So he started tagging Princeton in his comments with her. Now, that was a real punk move because he thought she still worked there. Get what I'm saying? So basically, Vlad was proving her right. We said, hey, stay out of black people business because you're the snitching current type. He was literally trying to get her fired during the conversation, trying to bring management to be aware of the Twitter conversation, which was no threatening words were exchanged. Nobody threatened to hurt anybody. Nobody was doxing anyone. It was just a difference of opinion. So this looked really bad for DJ Vlad because it's like, man, that's corny. You know, you're going to come for a sister's job because she told you was a white guy and stay out of our business. That's not a reason to get somebody fired. So then he came back later and was like, look, I think it was the next day, he's like, no, that's not what I meant. I was just joking. You know, we was trolling. She trolled me, I trolled her. You know, I didn't mean nothing bad. I wasn't going to really comment. I wasn't going to really contact your job. She's like, you already contacted my job. For your tweets, you were tagging my job. Just so happens, I no longer had that job. Well, folks, a lot of back and forth. The internet came for DJ Vlad. A lot of people were criticizing Vlad over the last couple of days. Maybe Vlad felt the heat. I don't know. It appears that he did. I'm making that assumption because he made an apology today. That's right. Vlad apologized. He said, look, maybe I was wrong. I shouldn't have been trying to tag your company. After reflecting on it, I could have handled it another way. I did not need to call the manager. I did not need to call Popo. I did not need to call the feds and have them come lock you up and throw you out the country or get you locked up and get you thrown under the jail and get your house swatted. I did not need to do all that. Actually, he didn't do all that, but you know what I'm saying. So, okay. Now, some people say it was cool of DJ Vlad to comment, to apologize, admit the wrong, and keep it moving. Others say you should bring the lady on his show. I don't want you to do anything that you don't really want to do. Yeah, man, I'm tired of phony-ass apologies. Most people only apologize because they got caught. Most people, when they apologize because they are tired of the backlash that they are receiving. Most apologies. And the way I determine that is, did you apologize before you got backlash, or did you apologize after the backlash? In Vlad's situation, he only apologized after the backlash. Okay? So that to me means you meant what you did, you'd probably do it again, and you're disingenuous. So the apology is almost as bad as the actual act because the act was sincere. You were enraged, you were upset, you were pissed off. I'm going to get you. You try to intimidate her playing the white card. I'm DJ Vlad. I'm a white guy. Never forget, I'm a white guy in a white America, and I'm also a big-time CEO, and she's playing the black card on a white guy. So he played the white card against the black card, and hey, Now, there's been times I've been wrong. Hold on, let me think. Yeah, it's been a couple times I've been wrong. Hell, I've been wrong once this week, a couple times this week, and it's only Wednesday. But when I'm really wrong, and I'm like wrong publicly, I'll say, look, man, I made a mistake. I don't have to wait to get backlash to recognize when I made a mistake. And I'll get out in front of it and say, hey, probably should have did that shit. But I never, ever apologize for shit I meant. Nah, if I called you a sellout and a coon, I meant that. If I called you a white supremacist and a racist and a bigot, I probably meant that. Now, we can argue if I had any merits to my assertions. You can argue if I had any point of view that we can double down on, if I would double down on it, or you could present me with some new facts and I could weigh it and decide if maybe I could alter my decision based on the new found evidence that you present to me or whatever. If you tell me to look at it a different way and we have a meeting of the minds, I may conclude after having that conversation with you, then yeah, I could have went another way with that. And that's all cool. But see, that's not the same thing as what Vlad's doing. Vlad wait till his ass was on the hot seat. He waits till people like, look, let's boycott his ass. Then he's like, yeah, you know, maybe I could have done that differently. You're damn right you could have done it differently. You could have realized you're dealing with temperamental black people you've been on the shit list for quite some time, Johnson. Realize that. Know that you've been on the shit list since you had a run-in with Farrakhan, with Lord Jamar and Godfrey and Rod Digger and the whole crew over there in the Yada Ming podcast back 3-4 years ago. So a guy that's already in the hot seat might want to not get on more hot seats. There are people wondering how you even survived that, because it's like, Lord Jamar is kind of like one of our guys. He's one of our icons. I mean, real talk. Brand Nubians? That's what we doing? That's what we doing? And that's one way to look at it. I feel strongly about that. But what's ironic, guys, if Vlad would have had the humility to do what he did for Miss Jerkins, which is the professor, which is admit, hey, my bad. If he would have had that humility, Lord Jamar probably would still rock with him. Rod Digger would probably still rock with him. And there never would have been the big falling out that there was. But 4 years ago, Vlad didn't even have the humility to say, hey, maybe I was wrong to throw Minister Farrakhan and everybody that rocks with him under the bus like that. So maybe that's growth. Maybe I'm rushing to judgment, but I still think he has a ways to go. Here's the deal. We all are work in progress. I'm a work in progress. You're a work in progress. Some of us are work in progress and don't know it. Some of us think we're infallible. Some think we're perfect. I know I'm not. But check it out. You can always stand to be corrected, and you can always stand to be criticized. And if you are a public figure, trust me, that's going to happen. So I hope Vlad learns something, and I hope he's able to transcend to the next level, which is when you are first pulled to the side, when you first do the act, step up and say, hey, this is getting out of control. My bad. I didn't mean it that way. Let me clarify. Something. And also, tagging people's job is just a straight up dick move, so I don't know how you clear that up, except apologize. That ain't no mistake. That's straight up going to the manager on a mofo. That's what that is. Anyway, that's it. DJ Vlad, I wish you well. Here's the question for the people in the audience, all my fans, my people that rock with the show, anybody that's listening, anybody new, it doesn't matter. Should DJ Vlad maintain his reign? Him and No Jumper, and I don't know who else is white that's rocking hip hop like that. I don't know. Should we forgive him as a community? Should we overlook this? Should we just move past it, or should we hold his feet to the fire My thing is this: I don't see what point it's gonna make, but I mean, you don't need a summit to stop watching the show. We don't need a collective, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need a powwow to say we're tired of something. But maybe that's in order. I just think we need to start in so many other places. I'm still wondering why Netflix put that bullshit on Good Times. I'm still wondering how Netflix put that Good Times thing out. I mean, there's so many entities that have disrespected blacks, the black community, black Americans, in America, from America, us. I don't know if we need to start with DJ Vlad or not. It's one of my major disses and concerns with the Republican and the Democratic parties. I'm all over the place. Let me know what you think about DJ Vlad, his comment, his apology. Do you accept it? Should it be accepted? Let me know. All right, so, hey, let's go to Biden. Let's get this out the way. Biden is sliding. He's sliding in the ratings. We all know this. I heard him in one interview say that, no, the polls are wrong. Polls are incorrect. Don't listen to the polls. Polls mean nothing. I'm killing it out here. Maybe that's true. I don't get that sense. I don't feel it. I don't feel that he is. I don't know, man. It's seeming pretty anti-democratic in the air. I can smell defeat for Biden. That's what I smell. I don't know about y'all. That's how it's coming across to me. It smells like defeating burnt collard greens. But anyway, for a little glimpse at reasons why Joe Biden is not doing well, I got a clip. Here you go.
Was like and vote why the Biden-Trump the president question was like and vote why the Biden-Trump remake. Biden. It's not great, but it's better. 46 Democratic offices economic plan. As they from his biggest admirer.
Happy with.
The country deserves better.
I think we need a national office. And we're like, oh, I can't be in the United States.
Will cool the rising tensions.
It's just playing really bad for us over here. That was bad. I wonder if it's my internet connection. I didn't consider this. This is bad, Johnson. Let me try that again. I don't know what that is. Let's try again. Testing. My audio's fine. I don't know if that's it, man. I didn't consider that. Yeah, I don't know if that's it. Well, I'm going to remove it. All right, folks, looks like we got a technical difficulty on that particular video. It wouldn't play. But I actually saw this whole video. It's, how can I say this? There's some voters that feel that life was better under Trump. Now, particularly black voters, they're wondering what is Biden going to do that's going to be better than what Trump did? And they feel that things have not rebounded or gotten better under a Biden administration. That's pretty universal. You know what I'm saying? Pretty universal. Yeah. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not running. We just assumed it has something to do with our connections down here. but I'm fine. So yeah, so that's pretty much what's happening with the Biden numbers for one person. I think they're earlier in the video. Let's go here. Let me see if I can get to it. Earlier in the video, this young lady here, let's see.
It's not great, but it's better.
46 Democratic offices economic plan.
As
From his biggest admirer,
happy with.
the country deserves better.
I think we need a national office. And we're like, oh, it can't be in the United States.
Will cool the rising tensions.
If I at the
Yeah, it was one thing in this clip I wanted to share. There was a let me remove this. There was an older white woman in this video that said things weren't great, but they're better under they were better under Trump. They weren't great, but they were better. No, I think she said Biden. I think she said, she said things were not great aren't great under Biden, but they're better under Biden. And that's all that matters to her, or something to that extent. And then there were black folks who were saying, now things were doing a little bit better under Trump. They're not better under Biden. So it's kind of a difference. It was an older white lady who feels like we need to say well Biden, even if he's old, so what? She doesn't care if he's old. And she was still saying that, that Trump is going to come in and destroy America or something to that extent. So there are different hills for each of the candidates to climb. Now, you know me, I'm a supporter of Dr. Cornel West. I think we need to do something radically different than what we've been doing. I don't think any hipping and hopping between Democrats and Republicans, what has it really gotten us? I mean, there's peripheral changes, there's slight changes, little slight differences between the parties. At the end of the day, though, if you got a corporate Democrat and a corporate Republican, which is all Republicans by nature are free market Republicans, neoliberals to a certain extent with some conservatism. But at the end of the day, what you have, folks, is not much change, not much better. When I say much change, I mean, folks, I think everybody should be able to get sick in America and be able to be well again. I think everybody should have a place to live in America and have a roof overhead. I think everybody who pays taxes should earn an honest living. You pay into a system, that's the whole purpose of paying into a system, not getting screwed. So these are the issues that I stand up for, that I think are important. I'm sure there's others that have different opinions about that. But this whole, we need to control the world, we need to dominate the globe, and we need to have military bases in all these countries. I think it's 130, I don't know. It's a crazy number of bases that we have across the world. And that's not what we need for Americans to have better lives. At the end of the day, life's too short to just work yourself into an early grave for a country as the spoils are sent to the top and the people on the bottom get hardly anything. That doesn't make much sense to me. So as we get closer to this election, it's pointed out in that clip, it's going to be decided by the people that move, the undecideds, the independents, just like most elections. They're the ones that decide elections. Because America we got like 30% Republicans, 30% Democrats, and then the remaining amount are independents. And they kind of go back and forth depending on who gives them the better deal, so to speak. And that's why Dr. Cornel West, that's why an RFK Jr., that's why Dr. Jill Stein are so important this election. Because we got two presidents, both who have been presidents before. And a lot of Americans want something new. How they gonna get something new out of the oldest president on record and a guy that we just had 4 years ago? I don't know how you get something new out of that guy. So it's people running away from Biden to try to get back to Trump just to feel like, okay, they like one policy or two policies that Trump did over Biden's policies. As it stands, we're the dead heat in some states, but the swing states, last time I checked, Trump was up in swing states. So Biden has a hill to climb. Will he be able to climb the hill? That's the real question. Will RFK take enough votes from Trump? Will Dr. West take enough votes from Biden? Who knew it was going to come down to this? And it's going. It's getting closer and closer to the day. Will Jill Stein and Dr. Cornel West take votes from Biden? Or are these votes that no one was going to get? Are these votes of people that would take the couch? And always remember to even throw a further wrench in this, every election, about 40% of Americans don't even vote. Every election, no matter who's on the docket. The most votes came when Obama ran. That was when the most people got off the couch. And were they surprised to find out, oh, black guys could be corrupt too. Black guys take Wall Street money. Oh, black guys meet with the Heritage Foundation to decide what policies they're going to implement. Oh my God, who knew? We knew. I knew. I knew. We knew. But now, do we all know? It's not down here. I don't mean to get so loud about this. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we're getting closer and closer to 2024. People are going to have to make their minds up about what's important to them. Are we going to still have Republicans with their head in the sand thinking it's all about the little guy? Are they still going to be blaming the most vulnerable while ignoring the most powerful and saying it's the most vulnerable people? That's the reason why we have these problems. Listen, whatever you say, and I've covered the immigration situation, and I know it gets a lot of views, and a lot of people like to talk about it, and I know it is in fact a problem. What's going on in some of these states, I know it's a problem. The lack of resources, I get it. But guess what? Immigrants don't make them damn policies. So what's going to happen? Same thing goes for any other issue that we have. Those decisions, those policies that are implemented that people do not like are not decided by those entities. So that's what I dislike about the Republican Party. They love to point fingers at the little guy and blame the little guy. And their base goes, yeah, but those people, they're not the ones making policy. They don't control the laws. The laws are made by the same people that benefit from those laws. Get it? Last time I checked, Obama was the deporter-in-chief. So that's where we are. And with the Democrats, what I can't stand with the Democrats, not to be outdone, a bunch of smoke and mirrors using race to take my eye off the money, wanting to get me distracted and focus on the racial aspects and never the economic aspects that really impact my family. Believe it or not, what some white guy says in Michigan to me online, calling me the N-word, does not change the fact I got to come up with the mortgage. I got to put food on the table. I need to get a business loan. I need a business grant. But they want to keep talking about that. And some black kid getting shot somewhere, as pissed off as I am about it, as pissed off as I am about an unarmed or an armed black person being shot unnecessarily by cops, like Dexter Reed shot at 96 times, that does not change the fact I'm black in America and we only own 2% of the wealth in the country we built for free against our will, and somehow y'all make that okay. Y'all want the conversation to be George Floyd and Dexter Reed and Breonna Taylor when it needs to be Chase, Chevy Chase, Bank of America, and Wall Street. All right. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. My name is Tim Black. Go to join Tim Black if any of that resonated with you. Are you tired of the okie doke? Are you tired of it? All right. Well, as you can tell if you're new to the show, this is not any typical news show. I have a technical difficulty that just gives me a license to be on one. Speaking about being on one, man, I go to MSNBC looking for topics tonight, and I do a search there. I just want to see, like, I go to Fox, NBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, Wall Street, New York Times, Reason, Slate. I'm like checking all these news entities, right? When I went to the MSNBC page, folks, I'm not exaggerating. I was scrolling and scrolling. There were 3 pages, all Trump. Everything was Trump. There was no story that was not about Trump. I said, God. Then when I say, hey, it seems like they're really politicizing these Trump trials in order to make money, we always have some moron always talking about, oh, you just a Trump supporter. No, mofo. Go look. Go look. It's all they talk about. It's all they care about because it's a cash cow. And now they're turning out, are you surprised to find out now? It looks like none of these cases will be solved in time for the election. None of these cases will come to fruition in time for the election. Do you realize that? After all this talk, now this is something those who are actually not trying to weasel money out of people, get them excited and gaslighted and take money and take viewership off bullshit pretenses. It's something the real ones were saying 6 months ago, that this is all just a setup to take your money and you distract you from other issues. That this is all a money play. That the Democratic Party has been fundraising off Trump since 2015. For damn near a decade, the Democratic Party and the cable media industry, which is largely centrist and leans to the left, corporate, has been eating off of Donald Trump's name for damn near a decade. And we got people that can't see it. They still buy the David and Goliath story. Here's a question for you. If Trump is Goliath, who's David? And if you say Biden, smack yourself 2 times. No, seriously, choke yourself out. I hope you pass out and hit your head and split it to the white meat. But if you're that ignorant, if you really think Biden, of all people, is David, the Strom Thurmond guy, half of the things you accuse Trump of doing, Biden's doing or has done. He's made racist comments. He was friends with former KKK. Grand Wizards. He eulogized the former Grand Wizard of the KKK. He was, don't be bussin', and I don't want my kids in the concrete jungle, and 3 strikes, and mass incarceration, and throw away the kid. Oh, he was that guy. What was great about, what's the biggest knock about Trump? He took an ad out on the Central Park 5. Hated it. Hated it. He was showing his true colors then about willing to play racist games in order to increase his popularity. He's still doing it. Yeah, it's true. But I don't see how you could possibly say one is David and one is Goliath. You can say they're frickin' frack, but not David and Goliath. So this notion that they keep selling, and it's only selling, folks, and I'm not talking to those people that understand it. I'm not talking to those people who were born tonight but not last night. You get it. You get where I'm coming from. But there are those people that are delusional. They actually believe what Rachel Maddow lies to them. She was doing 3-hour specials about Trump's tax returns. Remember that? Then she went to court and they said, hey, guess what? Hey, I just have an entertainment show. Hey. They were about to sue her, the shit out of Rachel Maddow. And then she convinced the judge that, hey, my show, people know my show isn't, you can't take my word seriously. I'm an entertainer. That's Rachel Maddow. She still has a job, and she's still doing very well in the ratings. If I'm not mistaken, the same thing happened to Sean Hannity. I don't know, man. There's a saying, I forget how it goes exactly, but it's like, you get the country you deserve. You get the country you deserve. Is this what we deserve? Then how do we get this country? How do we get these two guys? I don't know, man. The Stormy Daniels trial is going on right now. $130,000 was given to her. During her testimony today, she said $130,000. I think it was yesterday. $130,000. Yes, it was yesterday, Tim. $130,000 were given to her to keep the 10-year-old or 12-year-old one-night stand, which is all she said it was, quiet. I'm getting reports. I gotta look a little bit further into it, but I'm getting reports that some of what she said today didn't really help the case that much. At the end of the day, it's about tax records, bank accounting errors, missteps in accounting. Did the money come out this bucket, out of that bucket? And people want to tell me how consequential it is, and other people want to tell me how inconsequential it is. At the end of the day, it's all about money. It's all about power and who will retain power. Before going live today, I saw some people on Twitter. They were talking about Trump. They were saying Trump wants to give qualified immunity to cops. That's not true. It's not true at all. Trump wants to give carte blanche to cops. Cops already have qualified immunity. Yeah, that's the problem. It's something I've been fighting against. Qualified immunity. I want to put an end to qualified immunity because cops get to kill people and nothing happens to them. Contrary to what you've been reading, most of the time when cops shoot civilians, nothing happens. So what I'm trying to tell you is the same thing that these assholes say when they tell you, oh, black people getting shot by cops is rare, hardly ever happens. The same spiel, the same narrative that conservatives spew, like Candace Owens and the like, Tucker Carlson, all these people. Ben Shapiro. That same narrative, it applies to them. I want to get this number right. 99.8% of the time, cops don't pay a cent themselves for those civil cases. They're all taken care of by the state. So there has been no personal responsibility to cops, no matter what killings or shootings that they do, because of qualified immunity. In order for them to be held accountable personally, you have to prove that they violated constitutional rights. There was a story where one such story like this was cops are almost always protected from having to pay damages themselves. A study conducted by the USLA law professor Jonas Schwartz found that government paid for judgments 99.98% of the time. So what the fuck is Trump talking about? Well, Trump is doing the same thing he did with the Central Park 5. He's saying something that remember, he's a private citizen. We need to lock up people who great people. And we need to send them to the gas chamber, whatever crazy shit he said. He had no power, no authority to do shit. Same thing with this. When Trump says he wants to protect cops and give cops carte blanche and let them not be held responsible and all this shit, he can't. He has no control over the state level. And when you try a case against cops, unless it's brought by federal prosecutors, it's up to the states. He can't go and say what should happen. In the case of Derek Chauvin, even if Donald Trump wants to wipe away the federal charges against Derek Chauvin, he's also been convicted in the state. And since the time is running concurrently, He's got 25 years from the feds and 22 years from the state. So it's running concurrent. He would still have to serve his 22 years. So basically, what Trump supporters don't get is that Trump is just blowing smoke. And what Democrats don't get, who are going, oh my God, what Trump said, is Trump has done a deducing and realized it sounds really good on the stump to say this, and it will rile up his base. And he was in Wisconsin at the time. He's trying to beat Biden, so he's going to say what he wants you to hear. But Trump has no authority whatsoever over states charging cops, which has happened in all the cases that we name. Whether it's the cops that shot Breonna Taylor, or the cops that shot George Floyd, or Philando Castile, or Dexter Reed, or Tatiana Jefferson, or any other name that we can name. So it's smoke and mirrors. It's BS. It's gaslighting, and it continues. It's also true that police officers are rarely prosecuted to begin with, despite a handful of high-profile cases that capture the public attention. No one should be criminally charged because the political moment demands it, but no one should also be immunized, which is what Trump wants, because it plays well with a political constituency. For example, here goes a perfect example, guys. Listen to this example. I haven't heard anyone give this scenario. It's a real scenario that took place. 2 California men were unable to sue officers who allegedly stole $225,000 from them under circumstances, and during the execution of a search warrant. 2 California men were searched by the cops using a search warrant. All of a sudden, their money was gone. Those men could not even sue the cops because they were the only ones there. The money, you had the money in your house. Okay, you got money in your house. Cops get a search warrant, they search your house, they leave, your money gone. You report it. Hey, my money was gone. I had my money, you leave, my money's gone. They couldn't even sue the cops that came with the search warrant. They ransacked their house and suddenly made their money disappear because, wait for it, there was no previous court ruling that said stealing under such circumstances was unconstitutional. Federal law enforcement officers. Meanwhile, they're protected almost absolutely under immunity. See, there has to be a precedent that what you do is unconstitutional. Specifically what you did is unconstitutional. And it has to already been decided in the court. Is it unconstitutional? Yes or no? Well, just so happens that's never been a case that was brought before the courts. So they could not sue the cops. So when Trump's spewing off about he's going to give qualified, or once again, they already have qualified immunity. But when Trump says he pledges, we're going to give our police their power back. That's what Trump said in Wisconsin. We're going to give police their power back, even though cops are the most powerful law enforcement, are the most powerful people in government. No other person in government, aside from the president, can just shoot your ass. Yeah, your mayor can make it hard for you to renew your business license. Shout out to Tiffany Henyard down there in Duluth or whatever the hell, Dalton. Shout out to her. Yeah, you can jam up someone's business license, but she can't just shoot people. Cops shoot and kill people. So when Trump says he's going to give the power back to the cops, what does that even mean? He wants to give them immunity from prosecution. He can try as he may. But the only immunity he could give in a particular case would be at the federal level. In every case that we've been talking about on this show has been from the state level. But it does give us a glimpse into what kind of, I don't know, what kind of president Donald Trump is. But we should already know what kind of president Trump is. And that's why some people want him back. And that's why some people don't want him back. During his term in office, Trump had declared that he would fight any legislation that sought to hamstring qualified immunity. So, I know in my state of Maryland, I had on a congressperson, a state rep, who was leading legislation in Maryland to end qualified immunity. Ben & Jerry's has an organization, and some of you who have become patrons of mine, you received a book called Above the Law, where we talked about the cases of qualified immunity and how they're egregious, how they're disproportionately, totally biased towards cops and against citizens. So, people are going to have to make their minds up. People are going to have to make their minds up about what's important to them. So, no, Donald Trump, to the Twitter space and the people that were holding this Twitter conversation about Trump and qualified immunity. First, we already got qualified immunity for cops. If Trump wants to alleviate cops from having any prosecutorial obligation or penalty that they could be held accountable for in any interaction with civilians, he can't do that, no matter what people say, because we have the United States of America. The United States of America, right? And it's up to those states how they will handle cases. Now, he can't have an impact. Don't get it twisted. He can have an impact. As we know, a lot of states, they kiss Trump's ass because they want to stay in power. Hell, in Maryland, we got a couple people running for office, and part of their campaign ad, and they're Republicans, they're not even citing what's wrong with the other candidate, or not even citing what they can do for constituents. Their whole market of running, their whole theme of their commercials is this guy went against Trump. I shit you not. There are people running in Maryland for state positions, and their campaign ads are not pointing out what they're going to do for the people at all. Their whole point is, hey, this guy, he is against Trump, and I'm not. So pick me. So when people tell you, no, Tim, the polling's crazy, the polling doesn't make sense, don't listen to the polls. Hey, these local representatives have made decisions. They're spending I don't think they have endless budgets. They don't have infinite amounts of money to run ads. They're spending a large amount of their war chests to run for Congress or state Senate, and they're using that money to say, I'm with Trump. That would lead me to believe they're not that worried about Trump going to jail. They're not that worried about whatever the Democrats are cooking up. It's a different world. It's a different world. All right. Damn, I feel like I'm on one. Am I on one? I'm on one. Okay. That makes sense, man. How were things better under Trump? Well, there have been people that have pointed out different things. When we get to the next story and we talk about what's going on with Israel, what's going on with Ukraine, there's some things. When we talk about where the economy is now, where it was then, people can have that debate. There's some people that feel, based on the numbers, our economy was better under Trump. I know what they're saying, but a lot of the gains that Biden says that America has made, a lot of that has been contributed or attributed to the ending of the pandemic lockdown. And the inflation, they say that's because of Biden's policies. The CARES Act or these other acts, was it the CHIPS Act and the inflation, whatever. A couple of the policies that Biden has gotten passed. And meanwhile, the Democrats are saying Joe Biden's got more stuff done than any other president ever. But my thing is this: unless Americans feel a difference, a positive difference, what have you really done? Back when I used to have hair, when I sat in the barber's chair, it was about the haircut. When we were done with the haircut, I looked in the mirror. He would hold the mirror up, and he would show me his work. He didn't tell me. He didn't say, "Hey, man, your hair looks good. Hey, man, it's amazing. I did an amazing job, Mr. Black. I really hooked you up, bruh. Oh, man, the lady's going to be on you, my brother. You're going to kill him down at the club." Nah, he'd hold up the mirror and let me see for myself. Yeah. So Americans should be able to hold up a mirror and see for themselves with Joe Biden's policies. Remember, it's not about what was better 4 years ago. It's about what's better now. Americans are very reactionary. In fact, I think all people are very reactionary. If a truck is on your foot, you want the truck off your foot. That's all you know. If you got a stomach ache, you want the stomach ache to stop. Talking about 4 years ago and saying, well, how'd your stomach feel 4 years ago? People are like, it's about what they're feeling now. And when they want to look, and they want to look in that mirror now and say, damn, what a nice hairline. I'm about to go get him. I'm about to go get this job. I feel like $1 million because of this new hairdo. And that should not be something that's hard to sell if you did a good job cutting the hair. So that's why I don't fault anybody for criticizing the current administration. Because that's your job. Now, you don't start doing your job at the end of the damn cycle. Like right now, Joe Biden's talking about he's not legalizing marijuana, which would be a huge move. That would be huge. How are we not federally don't have legalization of marijuana? Doesn't make sense. That don't make sense to me. But he's going to stop short of doing that. He wants to do something like take it off Schedule 1, but he doesn't want to make it legal. Go right up to the point. Right up to doing something amazing and then saying, well, now step back. But you want people to put you back in office. To me, it don't make sense. But I've been telling people over and over, I say, Joe Biden, no matter what he does that's good, he will never go as far as he should go or could go. He will only go as far as he wants to go for you. And it will never be enough because he's got corporate interests. He's got donors. He's got other issues and other concerns that are higher on his food chart. The hierarchy of needs for what he needs to get done doesn't include working class people. Do you understand that? So yeah, to answer your question, my brother, and I'm glad you asked the question, it's not about name things Trump did that are better. Shit. I could bring up wars, but I won't. I'm not here to defend Trump, but I will tell you, voters are turned off by Biden because they expected more. Biden ran for president twice before. His third time, they gave it to him. He's the oldest president on record. You would think the guy would like to go out by doing something monumental. Instead, he hires a bunch of TikTok influencers to spew talking points. They ain't gonna cut it. He has D.L. Hughley and Roland Martin to tell black people how well they're doing instead of actually making black people's lives better. He tells working class people that Trump is the boogeyman and he's the most racist person ever on record to serve as president. Though we've had presidents who literally own slaves. Don't even make sense. It boggles the mind. So I don't feel bad for him at all. I don't feel good about Trump, but I don't feel bad about Biden getting his back kicked in. He deserves his back kicked in. He's the president of the United States. He has all the power and all the authority of the office. Here goes something that's funny. You know, people say, why is it that the United States is backing Israel? It's all strategic for the United States. They want someone in the region that they have in their back pocket, literally. It gives them an extreme strategic advantage. I don't think America really cares about anybody. They care about money. That's what they care about. Money and power. But one thing is certain, guys, this whole thing, what's going on with Gaza, the Gaza genocide, the Gaza war, one thing's for certain that Joe Biden ain't looking good. He may lose this election because of his support for Israel. And I was wondering if it was going to happen, and it happened. Biden makes an ultimatum, no aid for Israel, no aid for Israeli Rafah invasion. In a surprising turn of events, Joe Biden issued a stark warning to Israel, stating that the U.S. will halt its supply of artillery shells, bombs, fighter jets, and other military aid if Israel proceeds with an invasion of the city of Rafah. Once again, that's Joe Biden going, but not going far enough. Why can't he issue an ultimatum and say, hey, let's end this shit? A full and total ceasefire, or we done. We're done funding you. So the move has sparked a global debate on the nature of international alliances and the right to self-defense, if that's what you want to call it. There have been reports by UNICEF that over 600,000 children are seeking shelter. So they say that's part of the reason why Biden has to make a move. I think he has to make a move because he's looking at losing to Trump. And Trump is also going to use this the other way. Folks, Trump's on the other side of this. Trump would give a blank check to Israel. So it's not like, I want to be clear here, man. Trump is more pro-Israel than Biden. In fact, there are Jewish folks shitting on Biden because they say he's being controlled by the left, who wants to support Palestinian life in Gaza. They're calling him Mark Lamont Hill. Remember how they used to call Joe Biden Bernie? Like, I know, right? Remember that shit? Well, now they're calling Joe Biden a sympathizer for Palestinians. They're criticizing him the other way. Yeah, the other way. Meanwhile, Trump is not like, hey, we need to end this. Trump's like, whatever Israel wants, Israel gets. Trump is like John Fetterman. In fact, John Fetterman might go MAGA any day now. I'm waiting for John Fetterman, senator out of Delaware, to just join up. Delaware is in Pennsylvania. Who cares? To join up with Trump. Anyway. The U.S.'s stance on Israel's military actions has led to discussions on the U.S. commitment to Israel, the administration's stance on the conflict, and the implications for international relations. Here's the thing I want people to realize. Regardless of what's happening right now, regardless of what's happened in Gaza, we were already giving them $4 billion every year. America was already giving Israel $4 billion a year in the form of guns and bombs. And we had an agreement to do that until 2028. That's before this happened. Since this has happened, we've increased it. We didn't just start giving money. We've been giving money, okay? Since the Gaza conflict began, military aid. Israel relies heavily on U.S. military imports from the U.S., with approximately 70% of its military equipment coming from America. America has made over 200 deliveries to Israel. Bombs, guns, jets, aircraft, machinery, supplies for war. 70%. So when people say, Tim Black, what does America, what do we have to do with what's going on in Israel? We give them 70% of their capability to wage a war. Get it? 70% is a lot of percent. That's 70%. We're basically their backstop and their backing for this war. If we pull our support, there is no more war. Well, Bibi ain't gonna get out there and fight. Financial aid. On April 2024, President Biden signed a $95 billion foreign aid bill that included $26 billion in funds allotted for Israel. The funding was meant to help ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself against threats. In other words, to mow the lawn. That means to kill off a certain number of Palestinians and say, hey, we're looking for Hamas. And what if the federal government said, hey, we need to get rid of the Bloods and the Crips and just start bombing random places where Bloods and Crips might hang out? That's basically what they're doing. No disrespect to Bloods and Crips, for real. I don't want no problems. But America would never do that because they need their gangs for plausible deniability for why things are so bad in the black community. They got to have gangs there so they can blame the gangs for how shitty life is in those communities. Without you, they're the only ones left to be pointed at. Humanitarian aid. The bill also includes humanitarian aid for Gaza and other places, yada, yada, yada. So now, it looks like maybe things have turned slightly. But once again, it's not a necessity for Biden, I feel. I feel like Biden has no choice but to soften his approach, to listen more, not to totally capitulate, not to totally change his stripes on Israel, but to do so, to make a show of it. Let's make a show of it. Like if you're fighting somebody, but you don't really want to fight them, but hold me back, y'all. Hold me back. Oh, I ought to get you, pretend, hey, I'm gonna knock you. You lucky they holding me. They hold me tighter, man. All right, I'm gonna get him. Right. I keep telling people. I'm gonna throw this out there. Let me put this out here. So there's this growing thing, guys. It's this growing lie. Okay, this is lie that I've been hearing a lot of people reiterate. A lot of black talking heads say this, and I don't mean, I gotta address it. I think it's a very disrespectful thing. It's very disrespectful that I have people that will call you a coon if you support Trump but not call you a coon for supporting Biden. Both of them are white guys. Both of them are okay with genocide in Palestine, with Gaza. Both of them are fine with benign neglect for black folks here. Both of them are fine with corruption. Both of them are fine with Citizens United, which means corporations have more power over our elections than voters, us, do. Both of them are fine with all these problems. Both of them are fine that the water sucks and the air is polluted. Both of them are fine with it. Both of them are really fine. I mean, there's slight differences about the tax code, but come on, man. Half the tax breaks, all the tax breaks that Bush gave us, Obama kept in place. And there's really no fundamental difference between the tax code that Trump had than which Biden has implemented, unless you make over $250,000. So people below $250,000 a year, they saw no difference. That's why people see no difference. So instead of addressing that, that's a prime reason, by the way, that a lot of people are going, hey, what's the difference? Because basically, unless you make over $250,000, there has been no increase or no decrease in taxes for you. For all the talk, for all the smoke and all the drama, there's no fundamental change in the tax code, people's take home, okay? And how much comes out of their damn check, unless you make over $250,000. But we still got Democrats, and I know it's hard to be a Democrat who's a talking head on TV that's got to try to sell this BS, this nonsense to regular people. But luckily for you, a lot of people are ignorant, don't know stuff. They're still watching you for some reason. And they're uninformed, or they're misinformed, or they listen to your half-truths. They can't look at the camera and tell you there's a huge difference, because there is absolutely no difference, unless you make over that $250,000. And even with that money didn't trickle down. They're taxing more the corporations, but did that really help us? Did it really help you? There was no mandate that any amount of money that was taxed to corporations has to be given to employees. And even when they give them tax breaks, like under Trump, there was no mandate. There was no law that says any corporation that saves money or that makes more dividends or whatever has to then spend that money or disperse that money to employees. They do, however, have to give that money in the form of dividends to their investors. And those investors, by and large, are not employees. So it's all a big racket. As George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in it. We ain't in it. And the difference between this show and a lot of that cable news crap that you watch is we in the same boat. Get it? Don Lemon was making like $5-6 million a year. And you boo-hoo about him losing his gig of lying to you? Really? Really? But never did he make a segment and just say that honest truth to you about the tax code. Neither did Rachel Maddow after all that talk about taxes. And Trump didn't pay his taxes. And Trump didn't, and he shut them all he shut them all down, didn't he? He shut them down and said, change the tax code, I'll pay it, but you won't change it. Why? Because I get the same tax breaks you get and all your friends get. And that's really why people voted for Trump. Because it's just having someone say what you're thinking, no matter how abrasive or brash or disgusting or mean or funny, made them feel good. Made them feel good, at least temporarily. For my final story, I want to go to Marilyn Mosby. She was the lead prosecutor in Baltimore, Maryland, and she was on the Breakfast Club, and she was talking about facing 40 years in jail. I said, God, 40 years in jail? Who she killed? Did she kill Freddie Gray? I said, no, that can't be. Because you would never get that much time for killing a black person. That's impossible. This is America. But she was saying, well, it had something to do with mortgage. Something to do with taking her own money out of a fund in Maryland. And she took the money and she did whatever she did with it. And hardship fund and adverse impact fund or something. And it was a very interesting interview. And look, I always remember Marilyn Mosby going after the cops that murdered Freddie Gray. I will always have a soft spot for that. And also, she prosecuted a lot of other cops in Baltimore. So even though those cops were ultimately acquitted of killing Freddie Gray, I guess, hey man, accidentally they handcuffed him and threw him on his stomach in the back of a steel van, and then they went on a rough ride. I guess it was all accidental. That 10-minute drive that turned into a 40-minute drive. And his spine just happened to be broken. Not their fault. Who knew a guy could die in the back of a van, handcuffed, rolling around in a steel van by himself? Who knew that could happen? But she did prosecute other officers, and I don't know what happened to them, but said she got some convictions. And she said that's why they came after her. The feds came after her because, well, she made herself an enemy of the Trump administration, even though I could have swore Freddie Gray was under Obama, right? Like doing these things in my head going, when did Freddie Gray happen? But I guess maybe she continued her spree of going after bad cops into 2016, I guess. And she says that Trump had it out for her, okay? Trump had it out for her, so he sicked his goons on her, and they came out to her combing through her financials, and then they found something. They found this mortgage during the pandemic, and because of the pandemic rules under the CARES Act, she was able to take money out of what sounds to be a pension, but she had to fill out paperwork, and on that paperwork, she had to answer some questions, and she answered some of the questions, and according to the feds, she answered incorrectly a couple of times, which is fraud. And based on what I read, based on what I've discovered, Mosby purchased 2 homes in Florida while living in Baltimore, while being employed in Baltimore, stating that one of the properties would be her primary residence within 60 days of closing. And she didn't do it. So that was a lie. That made it fraud. In order to be able to take the money out, I guess, is what they're saying. Look, I wish that when Marilyn Mosby was on the Breakfast Club, I wish that Charlamagne or DJ Envy, and I know that sounds crazy, right? But I was telling Mrs. Black I was going to put this in my analysis about Marilyn Mosby. She laughed because I'm like, I wish Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy would have did a better job. And I started thinking, damn, that sounds crazy. What makes you think Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy would ask tough questions to begin with? I mean, dog, that's like saying, I wish Beavis and Butthead did a better job of cross-examining. I wish Ren and Stimpy. It's just crazy talk. Tim, but this is where we are, man. This is what we got. We're left hoping. We're left hoping some of the biggest cases, the most notarized cases, the most publicized and politicized cases facing us. We're hoping that hip-hop DJs and shock jock type guys do the heavy lifting on the I mean, but you know, Marilyn Mosby, she went on the Joy Reid show, and I don't remember Joy Reid asking tough questions either. I mean, because I would like if someone would just say, hey, Marilyn, did you lie on the forums? Did you lie about how, you know, The criteria, did you lie for the criteria to be approved? And if so, if not, why did they convict you twice? Because she's not on trial. She's already been convicted. She's being sentenced on the 23rd. She's being sentenced on the 23rd. And I listened to all of that, and I say, you know what? I don't think everybody was totally forthcoming today on the Breakfast Club about Marilyn Mosby, but I'll say this, man. Joe Biden should give her a pardon. Yeah. Why should he not give her a pardon? Who'd she really hurt? I mean, he pardoned 21 Savage, and Trump pardoned 21 Savage, and Chief Keef or whatever, or the other guy, Kodak Black. That's it. How many pardons did Trump give out? Just to give them out. To make black people go, yeah. That's my Trump. So I'm wondering, okay. And I agree. I agree with DJ Envy, and I agree with Charlamagne the Guy. They got one thing right, and that is Biden should step up and pardon Marilyn Mosby. But I do also scrutinize the story, because it sounds a little different than what was said today on the Breakfast Club. And now they're going after her condo, her Florida vacation condo that she owned when she said, hey, I'm on this hardship, but she was really taking money to buy more property out of state. It's crazy. But the paperwork was for people. The CARES Act provision that she took the loan out from herself, it's not someone else's money, it's her own money, but the provision that gave her access to the money at a lower interest rate, or was there any interest rate? I don't know. I don't know the particulars of the interest rate taking the money out before retirement, but I gotta imagine it has something to do with saying, hey, we're doing a pandemic and I'm suffering a financial burden. But are you suffering a financial burden if you're still gainfully employed, making $250,000 a year, and you own not just a house in Baltimore, but property in Florida? And at the end of the day, people do this shit all the time. Why are they focusing on her? We know why they're focusing on her. They're focusing on her because she's Marilyn Mosby, she's Marilyn Mosby, the prosecutor that prosecuted the cops, the one that defied Trump, what's that little Barney Rubble, what's that little guy? His attorney general. No one says this guy's name anymore. The guy that even Coretta Scott King wrote a letter trying to stop us from messing with him. Trying to keep his ass out of a job. Anyway, the point is this. Marilyn Mosby deserves a pardon from Joe Biden, but I don't like half stories. I don't like half stories. I'm not totally certain that this is all politically. I believe, yes, going after her was politically motivated, but I do not believe that it's all made up and that there was nothing done that should not have been done. But I believe that anything that 21 Savage did, anything that Kodak Black did, they probably did it. And why can't Biden pardon people the way Trump pardoned people? And that gets me back to the whole point. People say, Tim Black, why are some people voting for Trump? Shit like this. The facts are the facts. For the last 4 years, this case has been winding through the court system for Marilyn Mosby. And you know what Biden and his people never thought to do? Handle it. Make it go away. Settle it. Is Marilyn Mosby really going to do 40 years in jail? Hell no. There's somebody else in Baltimore, Ed Norris, a former police chief. He's serving 1 jail for the same counts. 1 year in jail for the same counts. So maybe that's really what she's looking at. You know, they tell you 40 to scare you. So, but at the end of the day, when they say Tim Black and they say to you, what's the thing about Trump? Well, Trump would play ball and back his friends. And Biden doesn't have friends. If you say you want the black vote and you got a black woman prosecutor who was prosecuting cops who I feel got away with murder, and half those cops were black and half those cops were white. It was all in the family. It was the Partridge Family. It was the Brady Bunch. It was Different Strokes. It was Abbott Elementary. How could you not pardon her then? So anyway, I support Marilyn Mosby, even though I do so with reservation. But I'm not reserved in the fact of pointing out that Joe Biden and his administration tone deaf to the mother. Tone deaf as hell when it comes to winning the publicity game. So now Kamala Harris is making around talking about going out with the Earn Your Leisure guys, the Earn Your Leisure brothers to talk about investments in the black community. They had 4 years. 4 fucking years to do more than have Roland point his fucking fat fingers, his sausage fingers at black America and tell us how we should be lucky we got Joe Biden. They could have gave Roland more to work with besides his high-pitched lack of bass in his voice to work with in persuading voters. He giving Bakari Sellers more talking points, more than just talking points, but legit on the ground shit that Biden had done that moved the needle. And all those voters in Michigan who are pissed, and all those voters across the country in working class neighborhoods who are looking at Trump and thinking, hey, maybe he's better for the factories and maybe he's better for this and better for keeping jobs here. Maybe Biden could have did a better job on that. Maybe it's not all about sending Kamala to go around for you. Meanwhile, you hide out in the basement. I don't know. These are just things that need to be rectified. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I'm not voting for either one of them. But I've been paying attention. And this battle, this election, is still anyone's to win. It's still anyone's to win. And the impact of RFK Jr., of Dr. Cornel West, and Dr. Jill Stein will be very meaningful. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them talking heads who are telling you they're trying to avoid it. They're trying to ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. It's going to be very effective. It's effective already. I'm noticing RFK being more in the news now, and that's because they realized that he's pulling both potential voters from Trump. So they're utilizing him. We'll see how long that lasts. All right, guys. That's all I got. We're going to go to the comment section. Wow. Tim, did you see the rapper Macklemore's video on Gaza? I did see that. Good job. Excellent job. Excellent job. Like I stated, man. You know, I understand that people have focuses, and I get that. I don't begrudge someone for not knowing what's going on. But when you tell people these numbers, like, you know, I'm with some folks who want to impress upon all communities the reasons why this is such a major issue. We're funding 70% of their military budget. We're giving them the guns. We're giving them the means to ethically cleanse out people. I don't feel good about that. I just don't feel good about that. In Jesus Christ. Oh, my video about Tiffany Haddish, fam. My Tiffany Haddish video where I talk about Tiffany Haddish and her comments about Gaza, her comments about the campus protests. I don't know. I mean, of course, I think it should, you know, I think it should go viral, but you know, it is what it is. I'm trying, fam. Thank you, Megs. Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Foolish Coyote, for your comment. Uprising Consulting, thank you as well. Inglewood, California in the house. Thank you, Ronald Lewis. Thanks for checking in, fam. I appreciate you. Buck's in the house. Buck says, is it just me or does it feel like Trump's been running for president for the last 20 years? I don't know, man. Merrick Garland? Nah, what's the Beauregard? What's his name? His middle name was Beauregard. And he was not Merrick Garland's Democrat. The Republican guy. I think it's Arizona, Alabama, right? I know somebody asked about that. Beauregard something. Arlene Chambers in the house. Damn, I see him. Kamala Harris grilled him. There was confirmation hearings. Kamala Harris got him good. I forget the guy. Yeah, the Toad guy. Keebler Elf, perfect. That's what. Someone said Keebler Elf. Elmer Fudd, Keebler Elf. That guy. Jefferson. Emmett? Jeff Sessions, damn it. Give it up for, who said that? Dirty Water. Give it up for Dirty Water, y'all. Give it up for Dirty Water. Dirty Water in the house. That sounds crazy, but that sounds crazy to put that together in a sentence. Give it up for Dirty Water. Dirty Water in the house. All right, guys, look, I'll be back on Friday. Now help me out. Go to Ask Tim. AskTimBlack.com. AskTimBlack.com. Leave a message. Ask a question. Make a statement. I want your voice. Ask a question, leave a comment, and I'm going to play it on the show on Friday. I would like to have at least 5 of those. I'd like 5 of those to play on the show live. Help me do that. That'd be great. All right? All right. My name is Tim Black. Once again, go to Join Tim Black. Become a member of this program. We keep it real. We don't kiss ass. We ain't fighting for the establishment. We fighting for you, the people. Like I always say, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. Peace. Wow. That's it, man. Give me some outro music.